Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Jared Powley's Fragrance Reviews. Tonight we're going to be looking at a spectacular fragrance from the magnificent house of Penhaligon. This fragrance is known as Endymion Cologne, which came out in 2003, and this is classified as an amber spicy fragrance. The house of Penhaligon originated in 1870 as a barber shop and gradually worked its way into colognes. This scent here to me is gorgeous. Not everyone seems to like it for whatever reason, and I'm not too sure why. This is a mature man's fragrance. It's a sophisticated fragrance. It's elegant. It has that barbershop British appeal to it. The only problem with this fragrance, because it is a cologne concentration, it doesn't necessarily have the greatest performance, and you're going to have to reapply. There is a concentrate version of this fragrance which came out in 2016, but the 2016 concentrate version has very little in common with the 2003 cologne version. So I'm going to take it out of the box. It's got a nice little bottle with a bow tie, magnetic cap. Give it a spray in the back of my wrist. Monster sprayer. It's like almost two sprays in one. So initially, you get a definite barbershop scent that's orangey. It's got a tart citrus, and it's a little bit powdery, but it's a beautiful initial opening. As it starts to dry down, it becomes a little bit sweeter. You get more spices, especially from the cardamom, and you get a touch of a sharp red floral note. The citrus is still there, but it starts to taper off, and you start to get a little bit of a resinous, almost balsamic feel to it, but it's still powdery. Later on, the fragrance never loses its kind of base of this barbershop vibe, but it becomes woodier, creamier, more resinous, and the spices seem to kind of blend into like an ultra smooth, moderate sweetness. So the transitions in this fragrance from the initial spray to the mid dry down to the late dry down are seamless. It's a gorgeous fragrance. As advertised, the top notes in this fragrance are lavender, bergamot, sage, and mandarin. The mid notes are coffee and geranium, and what is unusual about this fragrance, which you don't see very often, the base notes are the so-called loaded notes. So the base notes make up sandalwood, leather, myrrh, cardamom, nutmeg, black pepper, musk, incense, vetiver, and olibanum. Performance on this is moderate. I got about 2 to 3 hours, but during that 2 to 3 hours, you got very great scent wafts, scent trails. People could, even if you've left the room, you could still pick up the scent. This is not a fragrance you want to overspray. You just want to reapply, maybe one shot every 3 hours. And like I said, it does leave a very lovely scent bubble, but after about 2 hours, it starts to pull closer to the skin and becomes more of an intimate scent. But again, you could reapply it. This fragrance here, because it's a cologne version, is not extremely expensive. It's, for where I bought it, it's about half the price of the concentrate version, and I think this is a superior fragrance, a superior scent profile. It just doesn't have the same concentration. And when you look at how some of the price of the fragrances are going up, this is actually a fairly good deal because it's almost at the same level as where I live in Canada, is like a Yves Saint Laurent or Gucci. That's how high the prices are getting in Canada, and this is right in that ballpark. Overall, my final thoughts on this, I think this is an amazing scent that is a decent price, but it's for a mature, more sophisticated, elegant, established gentleman. This is not necessarily for guys in the early 20s. I think maybe a guy mid-late 20s, if he's feeling that he wants to be more mature or he doesn't want the so-called immature sweet fragrances, I think this could be for you, because there still is that barbershop scent which gives it a definite masculine edge, which I love. And I do think that most ladies would love this because it does have that kind of raw, rugged, sexy, masculine vibe to it. One final note on the name Endymion. is Endymion is in Greek mythology, is a beautiful young man who was loved by the goddess of the moon, who was Selene. But Endymion was put into an eternal sleep by Zeus for falling in love with Zeus's wife / sister, Hera. And Hera was the queen of the Mount Olympus. But during this time when he was in his eternal sleep, the goddess of the moon, Selene, came to visit Endymion every night. So that's just a little bit of interesting mythology, Greek mythology to be more specific. Again, with this one last thought, always try before you buy, because you're using your hard-earned money. But I do think if you're a barbershop fan, I think this is a very good deal. And this is readily available in most big cities. The whole key is to get some type of sample of it, to try it out. So if you like this video, hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. Any comments or questions you have about this great fragrance from the house of Penhaligon, leave them down below and I'll always get back to you. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.